Back with Levi Jones on the Big E television network. Levi, you've had a chance now to race with USAC for several years. You've got 2 championships to your credit. You've really had a good run so far. Has your career evolved like you had hoped that it would at this point?
My career, when I started racing, I really didn't have a plan, and no one had laid out a plan for me to be here in 2 years and there in 4 years. So I tell people that I've enjoyed the journey. I didn't have a plan. I've enjoyed the moment and wouldn't change anything to this point.
You have a situation where a lot of people would say it's a luxury and that you're backed by a good, solid team with good personnel. Kind of a high-profile deal, no doubt about it, with major sponsors. But does that situation also bring added pressure for a racer that, gee, I've got to perform?
Oh, definitely. There's a pressure, and you're expected to win in a situation like this. But I put the most pressure on myself first and foremost. Everyone that works here and everyone we're involved with, our sponsors and everybody, we're all race fans to start with, and we have a love for this sport. And if you love what you're doing, you're probably going to succeed at it.
Your car owner, Tony Stewart, was a great racer, is a great racer in his own right. Has you ever had specific conversations with him about setup and technique and that sort of thing? Do you ever have those conversations?
Yeah, Tony being an owner, he's been there and done it as a driver, been through the things that I go through as a driver, and now as an owner, he's learning all that stuff. And it's nice to be able to bounce questions off of him, whether it be about a track or about driving or a certain car or business-related stuff now. So it's a pleasure having Tony as an owner.
What's the most challenging element involved in racing in USAC today? What's the biggest challenge to succeeding in that arena?
Our biggest challenge is obviously we race all 3 cars, all 3 series. So being prepared, we could be racing a dirt sprint car tonight and a pavement midget totally somewhere else tomorrow, and then so as the year goes, being able to have all of our cars prepared and ready to go. When we're racing against somebody that may only have a midget or may only have a sprint car. So just being prepared is our biggest challenge.
Do you like being, I don't know if this environment allows you to be hands-on with the car, you've got very competent crew and people like that. Do you like being hands-on? Do you like working on a race car?
Yeah, I do. I mean, that's, it's all I've ever done, really. So I don't know, I don't want to do anything else, but I also don't know how to do a lot of other things. So, Tracy and myself come into the shop quite a bit, try not to get in the way and try to help where we can.
There's discussion sometimes in open wheel racing, the differences between winged sprint cars and wingless sprint cars. And there's a discussion sometimes that taking the wing off puts the driver more into the equation. What are your thoughts on that? Is that an accurate assessment, do you think?
That issue is brought up a lot, and I have ran some wing sprint cars, and I really get upset when people say that one car is easier or one car is harder. It's not. They're just different, and if you're going to win in either one of them, you have to be the best at that. And just being able to generalize and say it's easier to drive a wing car. It's easier to drive a wing car faster, but everybody's going faster. So, you can't I couldn't go tonight and beat Donnie Schatz at Knoxville, and I don't think we could go somewhere. I don't think we'd go to Bloomington tonight, and I don't think he could beat me at a USAC race. So, but if I did it long enough, I think I could compete with him, and I know if someone like him, race what we do, he would be able to compete and win races with us.
I think the theory has always been racers are racers, and they'll figure it out. Would you agree with that?
Right.
Off time, you don't have a lot of it, particularly during the racing season, but what about hobbies? What kind of things do you like to do away from the racetrack?
I love college basketball. So kind of our off time is right in the middle of March Madness. We're not. Hopefully things are pretty much ready to go for the year, and we don't have a lot of races right there at that time. So other than watching sports, and college basketball is my favorite. Messing with race cars is my hobby.
You were a pretty good basketball player in high school. I remember having this conversation with you. What was the night you scored over 30? What was that? It was 30.
Yeah, it's been a long time ago now.
Now, you remember. I don't know why you forget that.
I scored in the 30s a few times. So, but I really take a lot of stuff from high school sports that apply to our team, being competitive, bringing it every night to win, and I have a pretty good relationship with my high school basketball coach still, and I was able to go back to the last home game of the year, and they won on a last-second shot in overtime. So, it's just, those kind of, I guess, an adrenaline junkie, those, my heart was racing almost like I was out there playing or in a race. So those are why I like those kind of things.
When you move into a new season, where we are right now as we're having this conversation, getting ready to really get in the teeth of the USAC season, do you set specific goals, specific things that you're working toward for that year?
Definitely, when the schedule comes out and you're sitting by yourself at home, you go through there and really look at the races maybe that you've let slip away, or the races that really you would like to get after this year. So that's what I try to do, and try not to let any one race affect your next race or the next 3 races, and enjoy the journey.
If you could improve any one element of your talents, what you do, what would it be? What would you like to do better in your mind? Something you like to work on?
Probably, like I said, trying not to let one incident or a race affect anything else. I mean, whether it be win or lose, if you could just just forget about it and move on and be the best at the next task.
Even though it's dried up a great deal in the last year or two, we've seen a lot of open wheel guys make their way south to race stock cars. Was that anything that you'd ever had a lot of interest in doing?
Definitely. I mean, you look at NASCAR on a Sunday. I mean, it became as big as it did because all of the best race car drivers ended up there, and you wanted to test your talents and your ability against those guys. And I would definitely like to get the shot to beat my boss someday on a Sunday while everyone's watching on TV. But I enjoy what I'm doing now, and I'll continue to do my best here. And if the opportunity ever arises to do that, I feel that I can do that too.
The dynamics of having a teammate, a 2-car operation such as Tony Stewart Racing, do you enjoy that part of it? Do you think it brings a benefit to have a teammate? Is it better, or do you like going it alone more?
No, having a teammate's great. We can share information, and my teammate now has a lot of experience in USAC, so we benefit from each other, and it would bring out competitive edge in each other too. So that also works good.
Kind of each other elevate the game,
right?
Mm-hmm. Tell me somebody aside from Tracy. I know you think a great deal of your teammate. Tell me somebody else that you race against currently that you really respect and admire. Somebody that's a pleasure to race against in your race, and why? When I first started racing sprint cars, I was able to be teammates with Tony Elliott for a little while, and to learn from him how you have to finish races and not tear up equipment and put yourself in a position to win. I respect Tony for teaching me that early on, and also Dave Darlin. I mean, to get a race with Dave Darlin every night, any place we go, who he can win anywhere, and he's done it for. I'm not saying that he's old. He's just done it for a long time. So you kind of respect a guy that has done it that many years and seen so many changes from he won his first. I think he won his first sprint car race on Father's Day, like 4 days after I was born or something. So he's done it for that long. I just respect somebody that's been at the top of their game for that long. And he appreciates that clarification on the old thing. I know he does. Your family, I remember this seeing you race as a young kid. Your family has always been behind you 100%. They're your biggest cheerleader. They're just always there to kind of lift you up and cheer you on. Has that made a big difference in your career?
Oh, it definitely has. My family wasn't really involved with racing, but I fell in love with it. Going with my grandma and grandpa and other race fans to sprint car and late model racing when I was a kid, and they just supported me. Didn't push me, and I think they thought it was a phase that I would
you'll grow out of
it. And, but I didn't, and they never, they don't love me or support me because I'm a race car driver. They love and support me because they know it's what I want to do and love to do, and I wouldn't ask for anything different.
You've always struck me as sort of a positive person. You seem to be happy most of the time. Is that a fair assessment to describe?
Yeah, most of the time. I mean, I'm sure some people have seen me not too upset, but I try to. I think the key to any situation is staying calm, and I'm not saying that I can stay calm in every situation, but usually if you can stay calm in a situation, the best thing that will come out of a situation does.
Well, we'll look for Levi Jones at Eldora and lots of other racetracks this year. Thanks, Levi, for taking some time with us.
Thank you.